Well, do you
If
have,
you,
yeah?
no, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Do you have any, like, really wild suggestions for, revitalizing or improving the game?
Anybody that has not had a PvP kill in the last 3 months, kick and ban. And I can guarantee you, fucking the entire fucking Northern Coalition would fucking collapse. And I don't know, maybe actually the entire game would actually be fun again for all the people fucking living in Jeddah.
So you think, if I understand what you're saying, you think that the game has evolved in a way that it's really removing the attraction toward the most interesting part of the game, the PvP.
I mean, literally like the last probably like 7 or 8 months. I mean, once the cocksuckers removed like the Sino graphics, I mean, you have to fucking admit when you saw the Sino graphic fire, you literally knew either one of your bitch ass friends was fucking bailing for the fact that you had the Sino Walt, or some shit was brewing. I mean,
Mm.
once they removed the Sino graphics, the original Sino graphics, like the electricity, the lightning bolts. I mean, all of a sudden it's kind of like, you're shooting your load early. I
Mm.
mean, the entire game is literally focused around the Care Bears worrying about, oh my God, the Sancers are going to be actually having an event. The reality of Eve and why it's had longevity is the fact that people want to skull fuck people. And I mean, I literally to this day, I want to grab people in the fucking head and I want to skull fuck them in game naturally for the fact that, I mean, I'm not really a violent person for the fact that, I mean, I want longevity of the game, but CCP has been spending so much time worrying about the Care Bears and LowSec that they don't worry about the people that have been carrying their piece of shit game for all these years. I mean, like you, all I want is to actually have fun and have an escape. I mean, do I actually want the goons to burn in a fire? Well, the goons are bad. PL, for instance. I mean, all I want is to have people to fucking fight on a regular basis and enjoy it. I mean, naturally, there's care bearing built into like the framework of living in Eve. Well, PL is a bad example. I mean, let's actually use the Northern Coalition, the the worst fucking coalition in the history of the game. The one thing the Northern Coalition have actually done to Eve is stagnate it and actually make it fucking fester in a bubbling mess of incompetence. All we want out of Eve is fighting. That's all we want. All we want is a fight.
Okay.
What the hell is that in the background?
Oh, it's corn chips, I think. Okay, let's go on to talking about metagaming, because I remember, as you said, that you're in the security field. Do you think that it's positive or negative for the game?
It really depends. That's a really, really complicated question. I mean, there's certain aspects of the game that I really enjoy. Um, I mean, on the metagaming aspect, I can tell you with a great deal of certainty that if the roles were reversed and my name was actually, Hargrove Faggot, whoever his name was, I would not have dissolved the goons if I would have had the opportunity. I mean, there's a certain boundary that you put between real life and mm, your escape, whatever it could be. And I mean, personally, I never would have um, dissolved goons or whoever, whatever his name is, that be getting banned for exploiting. But I mean, there's a boundary. Harvesting IPs, all that bullshit. I mean, I really honestly believe there's a boundary that you can either accept or you can walk past. Um, Influencing individual people's real life as a byproduct of the game, I really have an issue with. But I mean, it's me personally. And I guess it's probably the best answer I can give you.
So you might argue that it infringes on the idea of real world security and privacy.
To a degree, but I mean, everything in the information age is public. Um, as far as your IP address, your name, where you live. Yeah, I mean, it's public. I mean, the reality of the situation is whether or not someone's willing to publish your mom's name, your dad's name, where you live, your phone number, your address, your social security number, whatever the equivalent is in Australia or New Zealand, wherever you're from. I mean, there are boundaries that everyone's agreed upon. If you hit a point where you're willing to cross that boundary, uh, I mean, I honestly have kind of an issue with that. But you know, people are actually going to be their own enforcer of, I guess you'd say, the boundaries of their psyche.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to permit an element of metagaming in the game without infringing on people's individual rights? Let's change that to what parts of metagaming in the game, spying, theft, forum access, that kind of thing, do you think are okay?
That's kind of the tough thing for the fact that, I mean, I know your name, I know your last name, I know your mother's name, and there's a boundary that's built around I guess the internal representation of. Well, I'm not really going to say that. That really is a tough question. I mean, my individual personal feeling on metagaming. I think it's wrong. Um, Personally, it's fairly easy to actually find out where someone lives, where their what their interests are, what their girlfriend is, and follow them around. I really honestly don't believe personally that something you do in a game should follow you around endlessly. But you know,
I think we talked about that earlier on, didn't we? When I mentioned that your choice of joining a particular side did affect you in a way, didn't it? By joining IT Alliance, there are people that might, if they met you on the street in real life, they might have an opinion about you based on that choice.
well, it's really no different than the goons, and I mean, if someone meets you, I mean, from my perspective, I build the entire framework of the people that I'm friends with based on Eve as a game. And secondarily, I base that on, the faction that you're a part of. Whether or not you're aligned with goons, IT, or whomever, I mean, I enjoy Eve as a game and meeting people. The one thing that I really have a problem with are the people that, make fun of cancer, deaths, and they attack people personally. I mean, there's several examples of trolls following people in their real life, and I mean, luckily in Texas we can put a bullet in their head. I mean, stalking. There are stalking elements in Eve that kind of bother me, but I really don't care. I mean, if you follow me into my fucking corner, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head if you walk down the alleyway of my neighborhood.
But still, you're put in a position of having to think about that because of a game.
Uh, No, pretty much in Texas, and we're concerned about our neighbors. I mean, granted, there are certain aspects of Eve that are disconcerting. The people actually make fun of people that die of cancer or have issues in game, and people troll it. But for the most part, uh, there's not a lot of issues to really be concerned with in in real life from Eve. But there are a lot of assholes, and the majority of the assholes, unfortunately, are not aligned with the It Alliance.
Okay, well, is there anything else you'd like to mention before I wrap up?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you once again for talking to me on behalf of the Kagutsuman forums. I hope we can talk again in the future. Thank you very much for talking to me about your experience in Eve and as a member of the IT Alliance and Black Nova Corporation. There's not always a lot of information about on that side of the fence. So I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me. Thank you
No
again.
worries, Ben. No worries, Ben.